Got to jump right into some bite down boxing talk. Uh, my name is Wood. Check me out at www.bitedownboxing.com. Also, check out the It's Always Personal podcast. I just put a new episode up last night. Really talking my shit, man, on a number of current events and headlines in the culture and whatnot. So check that out. Got to get into some bite down boxing. As you saw, what the title was, Lou DiBella was on the Ak and Barak show, I think Tuesday, because that's usually when Eddie Hearn comes on and he does his weekly update. And then also Lou DiBella came on. And Lou DiBella addressed, they started with him about Adrien Broner. And so I'm going to play a couple of bits of audio from Lou DiBella and responding to Adrien Broner and some of his comments from from Saturday night after his win against Giovanni Santiago. I got like 4 of them here that I'm going to play, but I'm going to just say this up front. Any white person that speaks about a black athlete or a black fighter, it's not racism. It's not racist. Respect is a 50-50 matter. You show respect, you get respect. This notion that anybody, black, white, blue, red, purple, yellow, pink, the notion that you can say anything you want and the rest of the universe has to bend the knee to you or go along with what you said, I don't know where that shit came from in the last couple of years and emanate or was some kind of byproduct of social media, the rise of social media and whatnot. But say what you want. If you're an AB fan, if you're an Adrien Broner fan, if you felt he was defending himself or whatever, I got no problem with that. I was tempted, before I played this first cut, I was really tempted to talk about my a situation that I had with Adrien Broner that DiBella speaks on it here in some of his comments. But I'll just say that, there's really no guarantee just because of the color of your skin. There's no guarantee that any of these fighters, as a media person, it's no guarantee that any of these fighters treat you with respect, regardless of what the color of the two other individuals are. Whether the fighter is black, whether the media dude is black, whether the media dude is Latino, Italian, whatever. And that's why I say respect is 50-50. And I had an encounter with Adrien Broner. I'm not even bitter about it. But it let me know I'm not going to go out of my way to defend Adrien Broner. Because if you don't keep it real with me and I'm keeping it real with you, I'd be a damn fool to sit here and continue to lick your boots and whatnot. I'm a man too. But like I said, I wasn't bitter about it. It was like the chick in What's Love Got to Do with It, Tina Turner's friend. When Ike Turner kicked her out the group and hit Tina, the other group member, and the other sister was like, "You only got to hit me once." Like Adrien Broner only had to cross me once, and we were done. In terms of us, talking professionally. And you can go down on the count line. You can go down on my playlist. I got a couple of interviews with Adrien Broner one-on-one. You can go back to 2016 on the playlist. In the locker room one-on-one for it might be 3 different videos. So I'm not sitting here bitter about nothing. But like I said, I'm going to let Lou DiBella speak on it with this audio right here. I thought it was hilarious. Let me start with this first one. This is Lou DiBella.
What I really didn't like the most about what AB said, it wasn't the motherfucking of Farhood as so much as the comment when he said, to Custer, we're boys. They're not fucking boys. Custer's not popping bottles and chasing women with AB. And the implicit message to that was Farhood's a white guy and we're not. And that's how like the implication I heard in that, and it bothered me because the idea that you can't speak your mind or the truth about this guy's fights without having him go there is offensive to me. No,
I like that Lou DiBella kept it a buck. Like Farhood, and I've interviewed Farhood before. Farhood sits there and judges the fights. He had Giovanni Santiago winning that fight by I think a point, 114, 113. I didn't agree with that. I had AB winning the fight for my own reasons, which I said in my recap video. Now, in that environment, like I said, Al Bernstein is the one, in my opinion, who has to answer for his conduct and the way that he performed his job that night. He's the one on audio. You have audio of him doing some stuff that's inconsistent with how he talks about most fights. I also talked about the fact that Adrien Broner called Al Bernstein out of his name a couple of years ago during the promotion for a fight. He also did it to Leonard Ellaby. He was pissed off about a lot of stuff. And it was clear to see that Al Bernstein held on to being disrespected in that moment. And it was undeserved, in all honesty. But like I just said before, the fact that any person can say whatever the fuck they want to say and nobody else can punch back, that's bullshit. This is right here when this next cut is when Brian Custer, Akin Barak asked Lou DiBella about whether Brian Custer should have gotten Steve Farhood's back in that moment. I did mention that Brian Custer, with the game that he has and the savvy that he has as the host, he immediately did come back at Broner with, well, you bugging off of Farhood. The poll online on Twitter also was over 50%, 52% of the people thought he lost the fight. So he did kind of get his back, but he also condoned the shit and not taking a harder stance on it. But I understand he was in a difficult position. But here's what Lou DiBella had to say about it.
When I first saw it, I thought he should have handled it differently. I still think he could have said something at the end before he switched back. But you know what, man? AB's a loose cannon, and he's out of his friggin' mind. And when you engage him and you go back at him, you open the door for more craziness. So, right, I think he was surprised. He's one of my dear friends, I'll be honest. I tweeted out something the other night that was a little bit critical. I said, I love Custer, but I think you should have nipped that in the bud kind of thing. But you know what? It's easier said than done. And I've been there before when you have a loose cannon in front of you, and it's not on the fly in the moment that easy to think. I talked to Brian, this week about it, and I got his perspective. I understand it a little bit more. I think he might have handled it differently if he was doing it again. But you're dealing with somebody that if you would have challenged him on it, you were likely to get more craziness. Which right. I think there's a time. Anybody's interest. There's a time for.
Again, I rock with Lou DiBella. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've heard people say that DiBella is a snake. I've seen a contract from DiBella Entertainment for a female fighter. I saw a term in there or a condition in there that I didn't necessarily agree with, and the fighter didn't take the fight because of that condition. It was a return clause, I think. But I've heard other people talk about him. I know we can sit here. Like I said, the thing that I see in boxing is any white person that says anything negative or unfavorable or unpopular or stands his ground against a black fighter, it's racist. It's racism. I think Lou DiBella, in his decades of dealing with black athletes, black fighters, probably black managers, black members of fighters' entourages, the head of promotional contacts. I think the dude is a straight shooter, and I fuck with DiBella because of the fact he's not an idiot. I mean, the dude, say what you will, but the dude is he's an Ivy League educated dude, and I think he also still keeps it real when I hear him talk, and when I hear him talk boxing, and when I hear him talk boxing business. So this is not me choosing him over AB as much as this is me saying AB did what he wanted to do, and as it relates to this matter, DiBella is speaking his mind on it, and I think he makes some valid points. This is another response that he had while being on the Ak and Barak show. I agree with him on this one too.
I watched that round like 3 times. Maybe you could argue he landed one punch, but it was a jab that hit the other guy's gloves, and it come on the copy box, like how they count. If you catch it on your glove, it's not a land. So I didn't see him landing a punch that round, and I don't know how he could have won the round. And by the way, one judge had Burchelt against Valdez, the first 3 rounds for Burchelt. Another judge gave the first 2 rounds to Burchelt. I didn't give 20 seconds of any of the first 3 rounds to Burchelt. You know, so we still have our lingering, ongoing, never-ending problems with shitty judging.
So right there, he was talking about the first round of Broner and Santiago. I believe it was the first round, and I think 2 of the 3 judges gave the first round to Adrien Broner, despite the fact that he didn't do a whole lot offensively. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was still focusing on the conclusion of Burchelt and Valdez, that I really wasn't all that tuned in to the Broner fight. I had it on the TV, and I was watching the ESPN card on another device. So I really don't have anything to say about that particular round. And honestly, I really didn't care about the scoring of the fight. I really didn't care about the fight in general. I assumed that AB, barring being knocked out, was going to get the victory. And also, I didn't see much from Santiago the last 4 to 5, maybe even 6 rounds. I didn't really see him being all that clearly effective enough for me to really. I didn't see nothing for me to really give a shit. It was a fight to get this man back in the ring, okay? And like I said, we're not all here to babysit Adrien Broner and to massage, his ego and to help rebuild him. We're not all here for that. A lot of us were here for that 3 years ago or in previous situations. I'm just tuning in, bro, and see what's next. But you see right there with DiBella's comments, he gives you a little bit of context. Like, I'm calling some bullshit over here in Broner Santiago, and then I'm also calling you some bullshit out over here in Valdez and Burchelt, and I'm with him. I didn't see no wins for Miguel Burchelt until maybe round 7, 6, 7, maybe part of 8. It was a rough night for that cat. So I didn't even go back and check to see what the scores were or what the round by round scoring was. Let me get into this last cut from Lou DiBella, and then I got to get ready to get on off of here. Again, this is Lou DiBella, maybe Tuesday on Sirius XM Fight Nation with Ak and Barak on their afternoon boxing show.
Yeah, man, it made me bristle because, Farhood is maybe one of the most impartial, fair-minded people I've ever known in the business, and you don't hear people, shit all over Steve Farhood because he doesn't deserve it. It bothered me, man. It really did. It also bothered me. How delusional is AB if he doesn't understand that during that fight he absolutely was losing at times? And even if you think he pulled it out, it was by the skin of his teeth. I personally didn't think he pulled it out. I thought he lost a really close fight. But, it probably could have gone either way. And sort of Farhood's scorecard reflected that it could have gone either way. Farhood didn't have it, imbalanced to the other guy. Look, man, he got outlanded in every single fucking round of the fight. Every single round. He should be grateful that he got a victory. Not shitting all over people and motherfucking them. And it bothered me.
Now, I could imagine after hearing that, it's probably 6 YouTube channels that you could go to immediately with a person the same skin tone as me, and they would scream, that's racist, and blah, blah, blah. Fuck that, I ain't on that shit. I thought it was a fair assessment of what happened. I thought it was a close fight. I disagree with Lou DiBella in the winner, but again, I wouldn't go tooth and nail and argue anybody however they saw that fight. I think Santiago, again, down the stretch, he did something in the 12th round. I don't even think his work in the 12th round was really all that clean. I really don't think it wasn't like he did a lot of damage. You can also listen to Santiago's chief second, who was getting in Santiago's rear end the last several rounds, telling him like, you got to do something, man. You on cruise control out here, like. So when I start hearing that, and when I'm watching what I'm seeing, and I'm not seeing that clear, effective aggressiveness and having the most effective punches, I don't have a problem with AB getting the victory right there. And again, with a lot of these fighters, like Yildirim this weekend, I was gonna come on and do a preview of that fight, but this was more interesting. But like Avni Yildirim this weekend, you have to go and kick and try. You have to go and try and kick Canelo's ass. Like, you can try to box the first 30 seconds or the first minute and a half, and once you see that you can't tactically beat this man, you can't outbox this person in front of you, you got to kick, elbow, headbutt, smother, hold. You got to do whatever the hell you can do within the confines of boxing to try to give yourself a chance to compete. And I thought that, for the most part, the second half of that fight, barring the 12th round, I felt like Santiago acted like an opponent, and was just happy to be there. And I'm sorry, if you won 5 or 6 of the first 6 rounds, well, damn it, you better win 3 clearly of the next 6 rounds. I mean, that's how it is if you're not there, if you're the opponent. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Some of these guys go into these fights week to week, the B-side guys. They go into these fights week to week. The Claudio Marrero cat against Xavier Martinez a couple of months ago. Xavier Martinez is a Mayweather Promotions prospect that's going places. I think that night he won the WBA interim belt or something, some junior belt. But Claudio Marrero knocked him down in the 8th round and had him hurt. Might have even knocked him down twice. I know he had him hurt badly. He was out on his feet, basically. And then Marrero lets him get out of the 8th round and then takes it easy in 9, 10, and 11. And then in the end of 12, he's wasting time and burning time off the clock. He's already like putting in his mind that he's won the fight. How, bro? You are not the A-side fighter. You are not the house fighter. You are not the money fighter. You are not in there to win. Like, you got to do what you got to do. So when I'm watching Santiago, 8th, 9th, 10th round, I'm losing interest in the fight, basically. Like, and then, and then on the other side, conversely, AB is picking his offense up. So I don't know. Anyway, like I said, man, I just thought it was, and also, I don't think there's any reason to come for Lou DiBella because they brought him on the show and that was the first line of questioning to him. I know we have this thing in boxing where you're not supposed to speak on other people's shit. You're not supposed to talk about fighters who aren't your fighter. You're not supposed to talk, if you're in a different weight division, don't talk about somebody, all this unspoken, this bullshit. We all talk boxing. We all got channels talking boxing. Everybody talks boxing. And since the shit is so unorganized, everybody is an authority on this shit. So if they brought Lou DiBella on and he wanted to speak on it and he said he was bothered and he laid out why he was bothered, I don't have a problem with what Lou DiBella said. And like I said, again, respect is 50-50. It's a 50-50 road. And you just can't go scorched or earth and cuss everybody else out and be disrespectful to everybody and shit on everybody and speak your mind, and then everybody else got to bend the knee to you. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. And then at the end of the night, you calling Steven Espinosa Mr. Espinosa. Why isn't Al Heyman Mr. Heyman? Why did you cuss Mike Stafford out in the corner all damn night long? So again, man, this shit where we don't keep it a buck with people because of the color of our skin is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm like I said, I'm not really an AB hater. It's karma though, man. That's the energy that you put out into the world. And then you close the show with the post-fight press conference. You close the show talking about, I have no control of myself. I need you guys to give me fight dates to make me do what I'm supposed to be doing. it's a shit show, man. Like, I just people the people that people go out here and put a cape on for and go to war for, and the hills that people die on is unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So I appreciate Lou DiBella for speaking his mind and for keeping it funky. I mean, shit, we need more of that. I told you a couple of weeks ago. Clarissa Shields, she got in my ass a little bit briefly in the interview, because I said I thought, and maybe I could have worded my question differently. It was a learning experience for me, but she got into me that all her camps is 6 weeks. I thought she was coming into camp late because of when the press release went out about an update on her training camp, and she was like, "What are you talking about? I didn't shorten my camp. All my camps are 6 weeks." I'm sorry, baby. On the men's side, all of the camps that I hear about are 8 or 10 weeks. Definitely 8. So, I didn't know the women's camps went that short. But, I tucked that away for later. But she didn't have to really address me like that. But it is what it is. But we don't have to sit up here and kiss people's asses, man. We all watch this shit week after week after week after week. We know what we're talking about. And the expectation is that you ignore what you see and what you hear. And you don't speak out on any inconsistencies just because this person, y'all share the same skin tone. Anyway, Lou made my week in just being entertaining. A lot of boxing, it happens outside of the ring because won't nobody fight one another. So it just added to the entertainment of this week. I thought it was hilarious. Another thing with the Ak and Barack show, again, we all watch this shit. Like, don't bring guests on the show and then when they disagree with you and speak some truth. Don't try to tell these people, these guests, what they should say. Like, your relationship with the fighters and to keep people coming on your program is one thing, and we understand that. But when somebody does come on and speak some truth and share some truth about the bullshit that constantly goes on in boxing, and somebody has a different perspective, it's not a good look to go back and try to, like, sweep that under the rug. Like, oh, bro, you shouldn't have said that. You really should look at it this way. And they're starting to do that a lot. Anyway, man, my break is over. Have a phenomenal day. Couple of fights this weekend. I do want to see what goes on with Junior Fa and Joseph Parker in, New Zealand. Not a lot of other names on that card. The other heavyweight, Hemi, I can't remember his name, but it's Junior Fa's training mate. He's fighting another heavyweight that's like 18 and 24 or something. And I think they could have got him a better opponent. The rest of the names on that card, I couldn't tell you none of them, to be honest with you. But honestly, I want to see what happens with Junior Fa and Joseph Parker. It's dope that a small country, like New Zealand, has 2 heavyweights that have an international, that have could have some a future in the international boxing scene. Parker, I think, wants a rematch or whatever. It's called out. Chisora also wants to get back into the championship picture. Junior Fa is a guy who's kind of been coming along lately, and it's time for him to step up. And so, if he was able to prevail, of course, we would want to see what's next for him. And then also Saturday on DAZN, that weekend, I mean, the big fight is obviously unified super middleweight champions Canelo Alvarez against Avni Yildirim. I do want to see, like I said, you have to take into, you don't have to. It's some dumbass channels out here that don't connect all the dots for you, but I'll do that. Here's a veteran fighter coming in, disrupting his schedule, coming in on like a 10-week turnaround or something. And yes, he's by far the more talented fighter, the more heralded fighter, a world champion. Check the whatever you want to add to Canelo's name and his advantages. Yes, that's true. But I want to see how he handles this short turnaround. And then again, he's going to do something in the ring that not everybody is doing. Not everybody can do. I mean, he is one of the better offensive fighters in the game. His preparation, what we see going on under the tutelage of Eddie Reynoso is interesting. It's shit for you to tune in and to be interested about the fight in, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, go do something else. Ain't nobody gonna bat an eye because you don't want to watch the fight. Also, Julio Cesar Martinez against McWilliams Arroyo is probably the co-main event. Martinez is great TV. I mean, he's destructive, he's vicious, he's a savage. I like dude. I'm tuning in for him. And then also the heavyweight fight, Zhilei Zhang against Jerry Forrest. After watching Otto Wallin last Saturday night beat up on Dominic Brazil, for 10 rounds or 12 rounds, whatever it was, I do want to see it. I am looking forward to a dude like Zhang, who I think I've seen finish somebody off. I really haven't seen Wallin put anybody away. And I think as a heavyweight, when we start looking at you against the other, the other top 15 guys, the contenders, it's in your favor to be able to put guys away and have that type of power. So I think Zhang, if he's able to stop Forrest decisively or explosively and create a big moment for himself, he's another interesting figure that DAZN has for their lineup of heavyweight fighters with Michael Hunter, Filip Hrgovic, Povetkin White, so you know what I'm saying? So if Zhang can distinguish himself as somebody to watch, then I'm gonna continue to watch him. So that's what kind of the interest is in this card. If you can get out of the way of your bias, and like I said, if you have a YouTube channel and you're talking boxing and you're shitting on this weekend's card, for what? Like, that's more your issue than boxing's issue. Anyway, let me get on out of here, man. Have a phenomenal day. Peace.